Today is day 7 of December 2023, 1 o'clock 12 minutes. The part 3 will have our intelligence here, quite simple. That is, we will check at that board that we have divided segments as architecture with cross-cut and having a regression, considering the density of the behavior regressed. Will have the human resource. It was audited, I think that 1 year ago. But this wasn't enough, even as notorious facts. So we are here, still here. We could have, before the season, I would say, as we can, that could, be at the moment to take a breath, but indeed we can. That the life can be chased by the power misuse or by the lenient behavior, and we will have the life cut or reduced. The people will die. The illicit action or the silence for illicit purpose need both fake records because it's the power misuse by action and silence. We could have this before the weekend, and now we will have that board we had at the chart as we observed, which was presented at the Saquarema Tiny City, which will be that I will have my tiny city, Saquarema, and Rio de Janeiro. Saquarema and Rio de Janeiro. They both are inside the Architecture Rio de Janeiro Federative Unit. Or having better, I will have the city as comparative and the federation. And I will have another situation here, that is another federation element here, São Paulo, for instance, and then we could observe that they are all inside the Brazil, and in general we will have a player linked with as the USA. That also will have as USA, for instance, the situation like the United States will have one specific city. And they two both will be inside a state. And all these will be inside the USA. It's the same model. We are having this situation here inside this area here. Right? Right. We observe that the relation between the seats has a mark of corruption. It's the same mark as corruption, despite we observing that they are in different locations. The level as corruption, local and domestic, and finally international, will prove the complexity of this criminal scam. First thing, inside the cities and the corruption as the element observed as complexity, we will have two movements: the complexity of corruption and the exponential complexity of corruption, right? In general, you will observe that you try to present a solution of things as responsiveness to the society, but observe that after you have this, you probably have discrete elements continued for the exponential behavior combined as architecture. And this kind of thing allow you to do the real-time interference during the effort you are doing or presenting something. Because indeed we will observe that inside my private space when I'm doing my things, I can be under interference of one specific zone as city, one specific zone as federative units, and the combination of both indeed will give me the perception as the state activity surrounding my environment. They all are having level as interference on my private living and space. But none of them has an excuse to do this because it's illegal. In the same way, I will observe that for instance, related state can do the same kind of interference. And I will put this state here. It's a property of mathematics, very simple on algebra, named isolation. When you have ax plus bx, the misconduct in USA and in Brazil, we will put the x as a plus b, something like this, right? And this property now is named associative, right? I think that is like this. So we are proving the associative as criminal interaction by action or silence. That indeed will misuse everything by the attributes confirming all misuse at the functional misuse of power by silence as blind eye or acts requiring the criminal conviction by association. We observe that the architecture in USA can point which are the federative units on each and which seats are related of it, with it. Indeed, we observe now that we will have a division as Brazil, USA, for instance. This division will be public or corporate, public USA or corporate. And if they all are kind of associated, indeed there are no division at the line here, because they are all corrupted. And the unique thing we must have is the complexity of the corruption. But if corruption is a crime in all areas, we sustain the accusation and the indictment and the complaint against the architecture as institutional judicial system or power as institution, globally talking, right? Require the criminal conviction of all by acts with no excuses to be made. But since you did, I require the credit to be paid. Totally satisfied at the integrity of right. Is it okay? Is it alright? Have you all a good night.